Nice yawn.
Yeah.
Aren't you ready, Hugo?
I'm ready, Papa. And there was Hugo, and there was Hugo, there was Hugo all over the place.
All right, race teams. Okay, so
Speaking of
chapter 10 and verse 35
our prayer for today comes from
from
chapter 10.
yeah, chapter 10. I accidentally cut off the N. It's supposed to be num. That's not really any better.
Comes from chapter 10. Doesn't have a B in it?
Yes, but it's silent, so I
So
didn't
it's
figure it was important.
chapter 10?
Well, that would have an E on the end. Anyway,
Oh.
all right. So in Numbers, that's the whole reason abbreviation.
There is a B in it.
Yeah, and you even say it. You don't say it in num, but you do say it in numbers. So when your num gets cold, then you say the B, because then it's numbers.
Oh, okay. And it makes a bee shiver.
Okay, well that's interesting. What do you know? Our printer.
Yeah, we've had some printing
had a little
problems
printing
on
error.
this one.
And now it tells us there's an error.
Yeah, now it's
Okay.
deciding to tell us about it. It's like, yeah, we kind of knew that.
You didn't print that.
Been dealing with that for like the past few minutes. Yep, thank you.
You know, you would think that to film a little 10 or 15-minute video would take, oh, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes.
Nope.
But no, it takes an hour and a half.
Maybe we're just not good at this.
I don't know. That can't be it.
No,
We're awesome at this. Anyway, all right. So this is actually in Numbers 10 verses 35 and 36. There's actually two prayers for the price of one. So whenever the ark would set out, so whenever the Israelites were traveling, they'd camp in a spot for a while, and then what is?
I'm sorry, I made a rookie mistake when you said whenever the ark would set out. I was like Noah, and I was like,
yeah.
Hang on, the Israelites were traveling over dry land. How did they
What
carry
did
the
they
ark
do?
around with them?
Well, it's like with the canoe. You ride in the canoe, but then when you get out, you have to carry the canoe. What do they call it? There's a name for that.
Yeah, there's a
Some
word
of y'all know the name for that. I can't remember it because I never do that. But there is a name for that where you carry the canoe across the land to get to the next water place.
I've read that word in books. I just don't remember it.
I can't remember what it is. Anyway, wow. So yeah, I thought about preaching a sermon about Moses and the ark.
So whenever the not Noah ark set out,
yeah, this is the ark that's a little box that would not hold all the animals in the world and 8 people and the food to feed all of them. This one much smaller.
Shrink ray.
So whenever it would leave, they camped and then they would travel to a new place. So they'd stay camped for a while, and of course, remember the Lord was there in the pillar of fire at night and the pillar of cloud in the day. And then when it was time to go, he'd get up and he'd get ready to go, and then they'd know to get the ark ready, and everybody pack up their tents, and they'd start traveling.
Things happen.
Things happen. And so whenever it was time, and the ark, when the ark, they get the priests had to carry, and so the priests would carry it out. And as soon as they would set out with the ark, Moses would say this little prayer: Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you flee before you.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple. Yeah, God, you go out in front of us, keep the path clear. Kind of like in Princess Bride when like the big pheasant guy, move the way,
Everybody move.
I mean, when a guy that's like 7 foot tall and 500 pounds tells you to move, and you see him coming, you move.
Oh yeah, you get out of the way. Especially when he's bellowing like that.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what Moses is saying. The Lord in this big pillar of fire or cloud, depending on night or day, he's going out there, and yeah, everybody's going to get out of the way of that.
Right.
He's going to scatter everybody. But then when they would get to the place they were going to stay, and they put the Ark of the Covenant down, and then he would say this other prayer: Return, O Lord, to the 10,000 thousands of Israel. or some translations may translate that something like thousands of thousands or something. And so return back and stay with us and protect us. So go out in front of us, keep us safe while we're traveling, and then stay with us and guard us when we're here together. And so that's a couple of great prayers.
Yes, it is.
And we haven't talked about praying when you're traveling, but maybe we'll have to talk about, some people think, well, what's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, or even like even aside from traveling, just like when you wake up in the morning,
You
God,
set out on your day.
God, stay ahead of me and please
Yeah.
help keep my path
And
clear.
it kind of goes back,
Yeah.
keep me out of the way of temptation,
Mhm.
keep temptation out of my path.
And
A lot of
then
those
and
things.
then you lay down, you're gonna be staying in the same spot the entire night. Say, God, please stay with me even as I sleep.
Yeah, which
So
is
then, yeah.
is that like the scary little nighttime prayer that they teach kids? That one? I lay me down to
Tim
sleep.
Hawkins did an
Yeah,
entire video on that respect.
the
They
scary
teach kids
prayers.
the scariest prayers, and it's like, and now I lay me down to sleep, and I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And he's got a
And
creepy voice.
if I die
Before
before
I
I
wake.
yeah, it's like wow.
Like you're gonna get a kid to say that prayer. No, just be like,
That's kind
God,
yeah,
stay with me while I'm sleeping, please.
yeah. Keep us safe until we wake up in the morning, or
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a scary one. I don't know who first came up with
I
that
don't know
one,
where they found that.
and it, the first record was it Edison that made the recording, and he had that little creepy doll. Y'all should look that up. No, don't do it at night. Do it in the morning, because if you do it at night, you'll have nightmares. The doll, and it plays that back, and it plays that. That's what he recorded. The first, the first little doll.
He
You know, the little
recorded the
dolls with the
prayer.
full string.
If you record that
He
prayer for the
recorded
doll,
that prayer for the
oh,
doll to say, and it sounds even super creepier because it's like a bad old recording on a little doll, which they sound creepy. I mean, dolls should not talk to you. But yeah, anyway.
okay.
Yeah, that's
So
fine. But we should
for
pray.
for a little bit of time as well, we wanted to just bring up. We skipped over Leviticus. Why is that?
Um, because we're not Livities and we don't cuss. That's not it. I thought that was it.
No.
No, it's because there weren't any prayers in Leviticus.
Yeah.
Because basically Leviticus is
About Levites cussing.
yes, kind of, but not quite. It is about Levites, but not about. Well, it's about they shouldn't cuss.
Well,
But
I just gotta
it's the
think.
rule book for the priests and what they have to do and
Is
all the little rules and laws. And there's just no prayers there.
yeah.
It's basically a college level dissertation by Moses on how to be a good priest.
Yeah.
So
And I gotta say, after reading that, I'm sure that a couple of them probably
they
were like, we gotta do what?
they might have cussed under their breath at least.
Yeah. Maybe
There's a
like
lot of wow.
yes.
Leviticus is a great study, and sometime, and I promise you, we may do that when we start having class back at the church. We'll study Exodus and Leviticus. There's some great lessons.
Yeah.
People don't like Leviticus. I've never run across anybody that says Leviticus is my favorite book of the Bible.
If I wanted to gross someone out with a Bible fact or something, I would go straight for Leviticus though.
Oh,
Yeah. Because there are some things in there that
there's
absolutely
oozing
disgusting and
wounds and all sorts of
yeah.
stuff in there. Yeah.
But anyway,
But we skipped over that, and we actually did skip. There was somebody had said that there's I guess some people would call it a benediction in the early part of Numbers, and we skipped that because it's not really a prayer. It's Moses is blessing the people, or well, he's getting Aaron to bless the people.
well,
And
God tells Moses to tell Aaron to tell the people that
God will bless them.
God to bless them.
Well, yeah, but
It's complicated.
but it's not. Yeah, it wasn't really a prayer, but it is a blessing. I mean, like we do it when people sneeze, achoo, and we say, "God bless you."
Yeah.
Why? I mean, well, there's all sorts of rumor and stuff behind that, being you're sneezing out evil spirits and all sorts of crazy stuff. Or even some people say Gesundheit, which is actually the German for God bless you, but just sounds a lot more like a sneeze. So yeah.
Or cussing because it's German.
Well, or like you just hate the person. Um, because
There's
kind
not much difference between those three things:
no,
sneezing, cussing, and German,
yeah, they're all indistinguishable from
and
really,
and sounding like you hate someone. Yeah.
yeah, all pretty much the same. So anyway, but yeah, we skipped over that one. But there are a lot of times where people bless others. Paul gives blessings in almost every one of his letters, and a lot of the
Yes.
others in their letters. May the peace of God, the love of Jesus Christ, the grace and mercy of God, the fellowship of the Holy Spirit, all these different things that he's like, may you have these things in your life. And it's not really a prayer.
They're related to prayers because
Yeah,
those things come from God. And in telling someone, may you have this from God, you're
you're
kind
kind
of
of asking God to
you're
give that
you're
to them.
asking God to give that to that person in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a prayer, but we decided to skip over it
Okay, yeah,
because
and well, we will mention it, but we won't
yeah.
dwell on it. But it basically was the Lord make his face, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.
Hmm.
And it's actually, there's a beautiful song. Marji, one of our members, Marji, sent me a chorus singing it. And I'm actually going to leave, even though it's not technically a prayer, I'm going to leave the link to that with this one.
Yeah.
We'll put the
Probably
link
be
to
in the
that
video
video.
description.
Yeah, in the video description, or maybe in a comment or something if I'm getting
Along those
confused.
lines. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we will see you next time then
Mhm.
when we dig into another thing that we should pray for.
Yes. And I hope this was helpful to you. Hope you enjoyed it, got some new information, remembered some old information.
And heard some really weird things that had nothing to do with the prayers that we were
That's
talking about.
bound to happen in these
We get that.
episodes.
Yeah.
Um, Hope to see you back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
And may the Lord bless you and keep you.
very true. Bye.
Bye.